Hello everyone, what's up? I'm live. I've got my headset in. Sometimes it works and sometimes you guys prefer it or don't prefer it. So let me know. What is up everyone? I had to shoot today and it actually got cancelled. It was supposed to be with Marissa Peer. It was going to be on her podcast. I was super excited about that, but it got cancelled. So I was like, man, I want to come on. I get asked a lot of questions in my DMs and in my posts, and sometimes it's just really hard for me to actually convey like a full-on story. So if you like, I get asked a lot about not having kids, how Tom and I made that decision, what that actually looked like. Obviously me going from being a housewife, an extremely unfulfilled housewife, to starting Quest Nutrition. So I get asked a shit ton of questions about certain specific things. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to come on. I'm going to just be here for you guys. Let me know how I can help. Nadra, what up, my homie? I literally was thinking of Nadra like 3 days ago. I was like, I must connect. So I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you. What up, everyone? Love from Brooklyn. So guys, I am here to serve. I'm here to answer any freaking questions you want to know. I will do it with utmost honesty. And so ask your questions, either drop them down below or do a sticker question. I actually love sticker questions. So there's like a little question thing that you can type. I like putting those up so that I can put it at the bottom. I also sometimes do just a random join me. So a couple of people have requested to join me. So I'm going to take a gamble. I never know. My team are normally petrified when I do this, but I never know what I'm going to get asked. I never know if people are ready for me to join me, but I'm going to just bring you on, have a question ready. All right, let's try it. What question do we have today? I'm waiting for samud, yusuf. So, oh, it's connecting. Samud, are you there?
You.
I don't see your video, but I can hear you.
I know, but my video connect is not already, not surely video.
I'm sorry,
Fix it. I can't fix it.
So we can't see you, but I can hear you. I don't know if you guys can hear, but if you don't have a video, sweetie, maybe type it in at the bottom and I'll answer it that way, because right now it's just like a big black screen. So why don't you type the question and then my team will ping it and I'll answer your question for you.
I am Palestinian and I live in Palestine.
Okay, put your question, type your question below and I'll answer your question, because right now I don't see you.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sweetie.
Okay.
All right, I'll make sure I answer it. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh my God, how sweet. All right, so let's get to answering some questions. All right, I've got a question from Eva Destruction. Interesting name. What are you doing to stay focused and positive while you're dealing with all the things outside of our control? The truth is that I'm not always upbeat and positive. I have my moments. Usually they're tied to my diet, my sleep, and what I'm doing on a day-to-day. So there are times where I literally am just like, I can't fucking believe what is going on. Oh my God, when is this going to end? And then the other times where I'm like, I got this. If this lasted for another 2 years, I'm going to be the person that's going to keep growing and keep learning and keep pushing forward. Nothing's going to stop me. So it's never just a like one and done, but to stay focused, I just remind myself on what that big goal and dream is. Every time I waver, every time I'm tired or frustrated or things aren't going right, I just remind myself of what I'm doing. Like, what is my goal? Hold true to that, because I mean, look, no success, anything you set your mind to is not freaking guaranteed, guys. No business, no emotional like goal that you have, none of it is going to be guaranteed. So what can you guarantee? That at least you're either learning or enjoying the process. So whatever that thing is, if you want to be productive, like you want to be productive in the sense of you want to learn a skill, or like I shouldn't sit on my ass and I should be getting up and doing the laundry. Because to me, it's like, fuck the fucking laundry. Who gives a shit? Like if I have to like turn my underwear inside out, I may not do that, but like wear your old granny pants for a couple of days. I'm gonna wear my whole freaking granny pants for a couple of days, because I'd rather rest and relax in moments that I have than worry and think that, oh my God, am I being productive? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Forget the shoulds. Forget the freaking shoulds. cut that out. There's no one that should be living under a world that has shoulds. You need to put down what is important to you and then live in accordance to that. And then every day, don't lose focus. Remind yourself what you're doing it for. So right now, I've had a really freaking long week. And honestly, yesterday, I thought was Friday. That's how much I was burning myself out. And last night, I was so tired. I literally was falling asleep at like 7:30. I was so tired. And I was like, Lisa, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. I don't want to burn out. That is very important. Health is very important to me. But then I woke up this morning, and I haven't done a live in a while. So I woke up this morning and something went, my interview got cancelled. So I was like, okay, should I relax? What should I do? And then I just remind myself, what is my freaking goal? My goal, the reason why I get up every day is to try and make a difference. One little thing that I say, one little thing that I do, if it freaking impacts someone, like I just keep going back to that 16-year-old Lisa that had no confidence, that didn't believe in herself, that didn't believe that she could achieve anything. I keep going back to that young girl. And when I say, every day I wake up thinking about, can I affect that 16-year-old girl? Maybe today is the day I say something, and I say something to someone that's watching, and then they tell someone, and that person tells their daughter. It's the freaking ripple effect. So I'm freaking exhausted, and I probably maybe should have taken like a couple of hours off, but like that doesn't drive me. So this morning I got up and I was like, when I heard that it got cancelled, I want to literally deliver. So no matter how tired I am, that goal, that desire is so freaking strong inside me. You're going to have to handcuff me and tie me down to not show up when I say I'm going to show up. So there you have it. All right, so we've got some sticker questions. I love sticker questions. I don't know if this will benefit anyone, but I'm going to answer it because it's such a different question. What do you love most about your husband? So I'm just going to talk about relationships actually for a second, because the thing that I get asked a lot with relationships is I'm very driven. I think of myself as being very independent. No one's going to tell me what to do. No one's going to dictate my life. And Tom is a freaking force. If you know my husband, Tom Bilyeu, he's a force to be reckoned with. He literally can walk in a room and take over. I love that about him. And the thing that I love is he doesn't try and dim my light so he can shine. And I don't feel like I have to dim his light for me to shine, if that makes sense. So he's so gracious in accepting who I want to be. And when we sit down, and look, we've been married for 18 years. We've been together for almost 20. In October, it'll be 20 years we've been together. And so the biggest thing that we have done for each other is accept who they were when we married them. So that's the one thing. I knew my husband was ambitious. I knew he was ambitious. And I saw time and time again, people marrying someone because they're attracted to them. And then as soon as they get married, what do? They flip the script. They're like, oh no, but I need you to come home at 7 p.m. to like read this, stories to the kids, or to sit down and have dinner with me. But it's like, hang on a minute, that wasn't what you signed up for. You signed up for the person you married. Now, in saying that, I'm going to say something completely contradictory. They're going to change. So even though you sign up for something, people will change. So for me, I accepted my husband for who he was. I knew he was extremely ambitious. I knew what I was getting when I married him. So when we went in and started our relationship on a day-to-day, what does a Monday look like? What does a weekend look like? You're going to go out to work. Okay, I'm going to be a stay-at-home wife. What does that actually look like? And every step of the way, going back to this question, is he was always very open to accept who I was, the changes I was going through, and I was the same for him. So accept the person for who they are. We always try to change. Now, here's another thing. Actually, I'm going to contradict myself again, because it's about holding competing ideas, guys. So I used to always want a concrete answer, but the truth is it's never going to be freaking binary. It really isn't. So with my husband, when I look at situations where it's like, I'm changing, he accepted me for who I was, but he's also accepted me for who I'm becoming. And we don't do that enough. And another thing is, when I'm changing, when I started to feel like I was changing, I turned to him and I told him, babe, I'm changing. That person you knew me who I was, I'm not that person anymore. Or at least I don't feel like I want to be that person anymore. And he met me with such beautiful grace and open arms. He didn't hold me to, hang on a minute, that wasn't our agreement. He could have, right? but he didn't. He didn't say, hang on, you said you wanted 4 children when we got married, and now you don't. He didn't say any of that. I wanted to be the supportive wife, and now here I am. I'm stepping into my own. I don't want to turn to him all the time. And so he embraced that too. So while it's like what I freaking love about my husband, it goes both ways. I'm like that with him. He's changing. He's adapting. So as a partner, I think honestly, the biggest gift you can give somebody is to accept them and be willing to work through any changes they are going through without judgment. And that's the final key, without judgment. Because what you can do is, especially if you've got a growth mindset, and I get this asked a lot as well, when you're dating someone that has or whether you're with someone, let's say you're married, you're with someone that has a completely different mindset to what you do. Sometimes, guys, and I get it, you feel a bit superior. It's terrible to say, but it's the freaking truth. And not superior in like a cocky way, but like superior in a way like, oh my God, I used to be there. I see the problem you're having. I get it. And this one little mindset shift changed everything for me. And because it changed everything for you, you want to share it, right? You want to put it on other people. You want to affect them. And so you go to them and you're like, no, like this thinking isn't helping you. Look over here. And what happens is time over time, slowly, you're going to start tearing them down, not meaning to, but they're going to start to feel judged. So that's a long way of saying you have to greet people where they are, accept them for who they are and who they want to become. And if you don't like it, that's what you have to address, right? Like if I don't like the fact that Tom, can be extremely dominant sometimes, I'm just going to talk to him about it. And we're either going to come to a conclusion, and maybe that conclusion is, Lisa, tough shit. That's very possible, but you have to talk about it. You have to talk about it. So kind of went off a little tangent, but that's kind of a big thing for us in our relationships. Guys, I'm answering any questions. I want to do some shout outs. All right, so I actually had a girl that joined live. Tell me where you're calling from, guys. I freaking love hearing what cities, what countries, what towns everyone's calling from. So let me know. And I'm going to go over to this question that I tried to do the joint live with that lady, but she couldn't get her video working. How can I achieve my goals if I don't believe in myself? Ooh, how long do we have on this IG live? Okay. I'm going to take a second to really think this through. How can I achieve my goals if I don't believe in myself? Okay. The beautiful thing is, I actually don't think you have to believe in yourself at first. And what I mean by that is you don't have to believe that you've got all the answers. That's what I mean. But believe in yourself that you're the person that can look for the answers. Emotionally, for me, it makes such a difference. So let's say you've got a goal. Let's say my goal is I want to play the piano. I don't know why I always choose this as an example. I guess because I wish that I could, but it's in my control. So let's just say my goal is playing the piano. And I'm like, do I believe in myself? No, I can't freaking play a note. I can't even bloody read music, let alone play any keys on a keyboard or the piano. So believing in myself to be able to do it right now, no. But do I believe that I am capable of doing it if I put time, effort, energy, and dedication into it? Yes. Now, what does that look like? Because abstractly, I get why you're like, yeah, but how do you actually know that? Take steps. So, okay, I want to learn the piano. I'm going to go, how do kids learn the piano? Who do they go to? Do I have to read music first? Do I have to be able to understand music from an audible level? Like, I really don't know. So I'm going to go in as the learner and as the student. And going in as the learner and the student takes away the emotion of, am I capable now? It takes away the emotion where you feel like, shit, I'm actually no good. And now it just shifts it to, okay, I've got a goal. These are the steps I need to do to get there. And now I'm on step 1. That's how you do it. Because once you do that first step, then you do the second step, then you do the third step, then you'll start to build believability in yourself that you can do it. So that's how I handle it. That's how I approach things. All right. I feel like I'm talking really quickly. Taking a deep breath. I don't know why I'm talking so quickly. All right. Shout outs. Sri Lanka, Romania, Israel, Abu Dhabi, UK, India, Spain, Los Angeles, South Africa, Canada, Florida, Sweden, Malaysia, Tunisia, Greece, Yasas de Canada, Germany, and Mexico. What up, guys? Thank you so much for joining. I cannot tell you how much this is like meaningful to me. My goal in life, hopefully, if you guys follow me, you already know, is to help create impact. And I don't say that in bullshit. Like, I really say to myself, is it worth it? Every day. Like, I really do say it. I mean, I was just saying earlier that I was exhausted. And every day I show up and I say, yes, it is worth it. But that doesn't mean, and I'm like, this is how I think. That doesn't mean that for the next 20 years, I'm going to have the same mission or the same purpose. I don't be like holding myself to that. I just assess every day. You know, I'm actually not answering a question. I'm kind of just waffling right now. I want to answer questions. Let's get to another sticker question. All right. How to be how to be motivation all the time. I assume how to be motivated all the time. I've got the best freaking news for you guys. You're never going to be. Mic drop. That was a pen drop. But you're never going to be. Like, why do we set ourselves up for failure? Like, seriously, why do we do it? It's like the amount of times, so if I was thinking about having kids, like, I really think about the pressure I would have put on myself to be the best possible mother on earth. And actually, I just had Rachel Hollis on my podcast yesterday. She was freaking awesome. And she started to talk about being a mother. And what she said is, look, I put so much pressure on myself that I had to be the best mother. But what does that actually mean? Like, what does being a best mother look like to her? Because while other people being a best mother means going to all the PTA meetings and making sure that, oh my God, if there's a bake-off, that you're there to support and you're there with the ingredients and the little sign to cheer your kid on. Like, is that what being a great mother means to you? Or does a great mother mean to you being there when they're crying, when they scrape their knee, you're the one that kisses it better? Like, what does it actually mean? So we set ourselves up for failure. Like, there's no freaking possible way in any possible universe you can be perfect. Never, ever. Whether it's you want to be a great mother, whether you want to be a great wife. Like, I so fucking want to be a great wife. But sometimes I'm a terrible wife. And I accept it and I look at if I've made a choice and whether I can adjust, or whether I just go, you know what, Lisa, right now I need to accept I'm a bad wife. And I do. There are times during the week, Tom will turn around to me and ask me to do something for him as his wife. So we have code words. He's like, as my wife, can you do this? And I look at my options and I say, sorry, babe, I can't. And I know in that moment, I'm a bad wife, but I don't beat myself up over it. Why? Because I've just accepted. I then make up for it, because a good wife to me does not mean being at your husband's beck and call. A good wife means that when he really needs me, I'm going to be there. It means that if he says, babe, it's important, fuck everything else going on in the world. And I really mean that. I could be in an interview with Oprah freaking Winfrey. And if my husband said, it is important and I need you, sorry, oops, I got to go. My hubby's waiting. Like, that's how I show up for my husband. So I have put into place in my own head what things mean to me. So going back to this question, how do you stay motivated all the time? In the question, honey, you've already set yourself up for failure. Like, you legitimately have already set yourself up to fail, because you cannot be motivated all the time. So now let's talk quickly about motivation in general. Motivation for me is, there are times I know I need to be motivated. I know I cannot turn up on a live. In fact, I can turn up on a live, but I don't want to turn up on a live where I'm like, all right, guys, what are you doing? That's ridiculous. No, what are you doing? Like, there are moments I feel like that. And there are moments with my team where I am like that. I'm like, that is wrong. And I'm not motivated. And I do not come up and show up like this. And that is okay. I don't hold myself to that. Because I say, when is it important for me to feel motivated? Okay, the moments are when I show up for others. That is important to me, not for your sake, for my own sake. So for me, it is, I will show up for them. I must work on feeling motivated right now. What does that mean? So you saw, right? I speed up in talking. My hand gestures. These things help me get motivated. They help me bring the energy. Think of like I wish I had like a little flame or a lighter right now. Think of a little match. And then I go, and I put some wood on it, or I put some paper on it, and I'm flaming it. Like, that to me is what motivation is. It's like this tiny little thing that sometimes I feel. And then when I really want to freaking feel it, I go, okay, what do I have to do? Oh, shit. Okay, I've got something behind me. This is going to help me feel motivated. Oh my God, Wonder Woman. All right, amazing. I'm going to make sure that I stare at her. I'm going to put something around my neck. I have a Wonder Woman necklace on. And I have, this is my little code name. I've never explained this actually. No one's ever asked me. This is my stripper pole name. So my mum's girlfriend and I, my mum's wife, we went Vegas. We did some fun around a stripper pole, and we had stripper names that we had to give each other, and she gave me this. It's Sexy Triple X, Sexy B. And so what do? When I want to feel a way about myself, I put this on. When I want to feel empowered and fucking sexy as hell and kind of, you know, like on edge and like, yeah, I got my groove on today, I put this on, and I put this on. Like, it is the flame, right? I'm like, that's what I do. So there's a lot around that. And I could literally do an entire hour on motivation alone, but hopefully that kind of gives you a somewhat idea of how I think and about motivation. All right, next question. Also, actually, little intermission before I answer another question. I am considering, guys, doing a confidence coaching course. Like a 5-step confidence class. I've got a lot of requests. My team keep bugging me on it. And for me, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to put my freaking all into it. So I'm like, it's close to saying yes. So let me know if a confidence course would actually be something interesting for you guys. I would, of course, do it in the very least way. But yeah, I'm super interested to see if that's something, because I don't want to dedicate time and effort and energy into it if no one's going to watch it, because as you know, my goal is to impact. And so if I'm not impacting, then yeah, I won't even bother wasting my time. So just like, let me know, drop in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. All right, next question. I'm going to do another sticker question. This is interesting. I like new questions. How to become so self-conscious like you are. I want to be so strong as you. That's very sweet. I do think of myself as strong sometimes. I think of myself as being, I'm weak many times. I'm not strong every day. And in those signs, in those moments of weakness, here's what I do, guys. I accept it. And sometimes there's strength in that. So maybe that's what you pick up on. Maybe that's what other people pick up on, because I get that a lot. Like, oh my God, you're very confident and you're very strong. And I'm gonna tell you a secret. It's not true. Like, it's really not true. And I don't want to deceive you guys. I don't want to bullshit you guys. So the truth is in those moments where I am weak, I just accept it and give myself grace. Now, the big thing that you point out, which thank you, is massive, is you have to be self-aware. You have to be self-aware. And so being self-aware is a process. It is not a one and done. If you are committed to being self-aware, give yourself a span of 2 years. Like, I really mean it. Think of it as a skill. Think of it as you're about to start playing the piano. You wouldn't say, oh my God, I can just sit down one day and I'm going to be able to play like a freaking, Mozart piece or whatever. Like, no, you're not going to. So think of it like that. And so now, guys, if it's really important to you, you need to approach it like it's a skill, like it's like it's a skill. You have to. You can't just like do a one and done. The same with confidence. In fact, I'm going to be very honest. The same with confidence. It is not a do this once and you are freaking done. It is, I want to build confidence. This is a skill set I'm going to focus on. So if I'm going to focus on this skill set, I'm going to give myself 2 years. Now, why do I say that? Because you must give yourself grace. You must give yourself grace, because when you start to learn confidence, when you start to learn self-awareness, you are going to mess up more times than none. I still freaking mess up. I still don't. Sometimes there are things I'm not aware of that I do. And the great thing is I have a relationship with my husband who I will say to him, I'm not good at recognizing this part in me yet. And we are kind of like each other's, what's the word? sponsor, like in AA, where you have someone to go to because you can trust them. That's me and Tom. That is me and Tom when it comes to awareness, when it comes to insecurities, when it comes to our weaknesses. We trust each other so much that sometimes when I am not aware of something, I give him the power to point it out. So that could be one suggestion, right? If there's someone around you that you trust, you have to trust them. But if there is someone around you that you trust that can be honest with you, that could really help. So you could say, hey, look, I'm really working on my confidence, but sometimes I don't recognize when I'm not being confident. I recognize it later when I'm like, fuck, I should have done that. Yes, that was actually the fear talking. Cool. Reach out to the person you trust and say, these are signs that I'm not confident. And what I do, so how do you identify the signs? Let's back up. I rewind. I replay literally whatever just happened in my head, like a movie. And I do scene by scene, dialogue by dialogue. They said this, I said that. They said this, I said that. Cool. Now, if I could rewrite the screenplay, because I'm a movie buff, I think like that. If I could actually rewrite the screenplay, what would I have done differently? Let's say a moment of weakness. And you're like, shit, I told myself I was going to show up. I told myself time and time again, when this happened, you're going to do X, Y, and Z, and I still didn't. Cool. Replay the scene. What's the first dialogue where you're like, I should have said something different? Cool. Take that dialogue. What should you say differently? It's a practice. So that's how you become self-conscious. It's practice, practice, practice. With my health, whenever I would have debilitating pain, I would replay what I ate, what I did, where I was when I ate, and start to identify where I was weak, where I went wrong, adjust, rinse and repeat, adjust, rinse and repeat. Don't beat yourself up, adjust, rinse and repeat. So hopefully that was helpful. I think someone asked, yes, we will be saving this live, and then we'll be cutting sections probably out of it and posting clips. So let me know what other questions you have. All right, what's the time? 10:30. All right, let's do a couple of more questions. Let's do a random join. Are you ready? I have no idea what these questions are. I just like this dude's name, Rockstar. Come on, Rockstar. What question you got for me? Until he joins, I'm going to just read some. Hello, hello.
Hello, ma'am.
How's it going?
This is the second time I'm joining with
The
you.
funny thing is, as soon as I saw you, I was like, I recognize this dude. Now, last time you came on here to ask
Last time we met.
Last time you asked a question for my husband, which I'd advised you wasn't a good strategy. So I'm actually, so what questions do you have
Yes,
for me?
ma'am.
What's your question,
Yes, ma'am.
sweetie?
Yes, ma'am. My question is to how to influence people, because I want to become a YouTuber and want to influence like you and Tom sir. So how can I be that?
I'm so sorry, I didn't catch the question. I only got half of it. Did anyone else get the question? Can you repeat it, sweetie?
Yes, ma'am. I was telling that I want to become a influencer and wants to motivate people like you and Tom sir. How can I do that?
Okay, well, thank you for the question. You're so freaking sweet. So I don't know if this is going to be an answer that you want to hear, but as you know, if you follow me, I'm always just going to be real with you. So I get a lot of people who's like, I want to be an influencer. An influencer in what? Like, what do you feel like you have so much strength in, or at least understand that you can explain so that you can help influence? Because for me, it's like, I get asked to do a lot of business podcasts, or people say, hey, do you want to do business? And it's like, if you're looking for somebody to get on to talk about freaking P&L, like build, structure, LLCs, I'm not your person for that. There are things about business I really know, but I'm not your person to be able to influence you on getting a loan for your startup business. I'm not your person. Where I know I'm strong at is understanding the emotion I've had to go through in order to get to build a business. The emotion as a woman, when you have to, like, there are things on the line there, and not even as a woman, but if you're starting a business, there's so much at stake. And for me, it wasn't even what was at stake. It was the emotional thing that I had to go through. And so when I talk about business, you will hear me specifically mostly talk about the emotion side of it. The emotion of me stepping into a space where I had no clue what I was doing. I went from being a housewife, not knowing anything about business, to that. So when people ask me, I'm going to be true to what I actually know. So I would say, don't focus on wanting to be an influencer. What is the thing that you're freaking great at? What's the thing you know that you're passionate at? Talk about that. And if people want to hear it, they will come. I don't force anyone to come on my live, right? I'm like, hey guys, I can talk about my health issues. I can talk about being married to an extremely, dominant man when I consider myself an extremely confident woman. I can talk about going from being a housewife to starting a $1 billion company. I can talk about deciding not to have children. Right? Those are my specialities. Come on my live, ask me any question about that. I will help. But I'm never going to bullshit, and people will smell it. So don't focus on wanting to be an influencer for influencer's sake. Focus on what value do you have to bring people. And that's where I would start.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sweetie. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, ma'am. And how to be...
Sorry, sweetie. I've got so many questions. I definitely want to make sure that I get to other people. But thank you again for coming on, my dear. Bye. Yes. Got to respect the guy tried to get in the second question, right? All right. So let's see. What do I do? Do we want more people? Do we want thicker questions? Do we want answers? Oh my God. All right. Someone says, I'm just going to read some comments here. I love this. I'm getting my membership biz up, and I show up like yourself, a female biz owner who's open about OCD and anxiety and saying it like it is. Yes, exactly. Because honestly, one of my freaking favorite quotes of all time is a Steve Martin quote, which is like, be so good they can't ignore you. So it's like, whatever you are doing, be so freaking good they can't ignore you. Just want to be influenced for influence's sake isn't being so good, right? It's value. So my team, like, every time people are like, I've worked with a lot of people at this point, and people worry about, oh my God, am I going to get fired and blah, 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 or like, what am I going to do? And I'm just like, be so good. Like, as an intern, in fact, this is what I tell all interns that come to Impact Theory. You come to Impact Theory, and we've hired now, like, I think 4 or 5 interns that were literally supposed to be here for like 2 months, and that was it. But what do I tell them? I'm like, if you want a job here, because that's what a lot of them do, they want to start to like then have a job. So I'm like, if you want a job here, there's no position that right now I'm actually willing to pay that you're qualified for. Right? Very upfront. I'm not willing to pay. But here's the thing. If you come in and you're so freaking good and you bring so much value to my business that I can't bear the thought of letting you go, I'm going to find a position for you. I'm going to find a way to pay you. So be so good. They cannot ignore you. Bring so much value to someone. They can't help but keep coming back. That's my advice that I have on that subject. Thank you for the shout out. You're welcome, homie. OCD Whisperer. I actually freaking love the name as well. All right, I'm going to do another sticker question. Have a look. Get some relationship questions, some health questions. All right, sorry guys, I'm scrolling through, there's a lot. I'm just trying to find one that feels more universal for everyone. All right, this is a good one. How do you deal with major insecurities? So, step number 1, identify the insecurity. No blame, no shame, no emotion attached to it. Just identify the insecurity. Number 2, I'm trying to, as I'm speaking, I'm like, I really want to try and identify my insecurity right now, so my current insecurities, that I can actually give a real life example. All right, my insecurity, here we go. Let's get deep, let's get intimate. Insecurity. I'm going to do a confidence course and no one's going to buy it. I'm insecure about that. I'm not quite sure how I feel. Because my goal is impact and I judge my results by impact, If I do one and no one gets it, it means that I haven't impacted people, so I haven't achieved my goal. So, identified my insecurity. All right, I know I'm insecure about that. Step 2, why am I insecure? Just identified it, right? Because my goal is impact. So if I don't do it, it means that I failed. No one likes to fail. And look, failure is inevitable, but he's still there? Oh God, okay. I lost my train of thought, sorry about that. An alarm came off and then it threw everything off. So, okay, I've identified my insecurity. I've now understood why I'm insecure about it, because it doesn't align. If I fail, it means that my goal hasn't been achieved. So now I go, how do I overcome this? Because I recognize, and God, guys, I really hope all of you guys do too, recognize that your insecurity is holding you back. I'm just gonna freaking say it. Your insecurity is holding you back. And so I'm saying that right now. I know my insecurity will hold me back no matter what insecurity that is. So I'm never gonna accept it. I just make that mandate. I'm not going to accept this insecurity. So now what? Okay, I've learned I'm not going to accept that as my insecurity. So now I go, okay, what does that mean? If I do it and no one buys it, it means I'm not creating impact. But why am I stopping there? Why am I saying no one's going to buy it? I've just undersold myself. I've literally ignored that I need to be so freaking good that people can't help but want to take the course. Like I've just, see, like even in my process of my mindset, I like convinced myself why I maybe shouldn't do it because it was tapping into the insecurity. But now, so that frame of mind has now made me wary, right? It's made me nervous. It's made me fearful. It's made me tense about starting it. Instead of saying, stop fucking thinking about that, Lisa. So in fact, this has been a therapy session for me. I feel like I've actually just made a breakthrough in real time. Stop being a freaking worse. Be so good they can't ignore you. Bring so much value to that class. Give everything you have so that they can't ignore you. And it's right. Sorry, I had a bunch of alarms because I wasn't expecting to do a live. So if I am so freaking good, or if I put so much time and effort and energy into it, and I'm like, I'm going to make this so damn good, and now I put it out, and now what if no one still doesn't take it? What if no one likes it? Here's where the trick is. I don't feel bad about myself because I've actually said I've given it my all. So the insecurity, like I literally just processed it in real time. My insecurity was, okay, no one's going to get it. Well, like if no one actually does it, then it doesn't achieve my goal. Well, hang on a minute. If it doesn't achieve my goal, why am I doing it? I like almost talked myself out of it instead of reframing shit and saying, okay, yes, you're insecure about it. That's okay, Lisa. Now do everything you possibly can to make sure you show up. But even if you fail, now at least I did everything I could. I went in with an open, like, yes, I'm going to do this, instead of going into it like, oh God, what if someone doesn't like it? What if I'm not actually getting people to be more confident? So that was actually really fun for me, apart from the alarms. I don't know how you guys felt, but that was a real-time breakthrough for me. So thank you. I am now going to do a freaking confidence course. I am going to freaking crush it. I'm going to make it the best damn course on the planet. There you go. Just announced it. Boom. That's my goal. There it is. All right. I don't actually know how long I'm going to do this for. I'll do another couple. I've got a call at, what's the time? 11. All right. How do you create urgency? Someone just asked quickly, so I'm just going to quickly answer. It's everything. So depending on if it's a goal, like a business goal or something, I'll set a date, but then I say, okay, can I actually get there? So I never try to, if I'm looking to reach a goal, I never just put it so freaking far out there and don't actually consider how I'm going to get there. Like I've said, I think publicly, no, in fact, I know I've said publicly, I want to win the Academy Award. Freaking audacious. A little damn cocky, Lisa, considering you've never made a bloody movie ever and it's never been in theaters. Okay, very audacious. But I have a plan. I have a strategy. I don't just throw it into the wind. So now I have a plan and strategy. Each one, I have like steps. So every week, I don't know if I've revealed this yet, but every week I'm putting together a female empowerment graphic novel. I'm saying graphic novel so you guys understand, but it's actually going to be on webtoons. Never mind. But a female badass superhero world I've been creating with my girl Catherine Connors, and we've been creating this giant world with superheroes and all these different impactful things. And I have a call with her almost every single week. So I want to turn that into a movie. I want it to win an Academy Award. So you see the steps. Now, every week I have a call with her. So I get excited and I literally act, she could probably attest to this. I literally act like my hair is on fire every time I talk to her. I'm like, we've got to get this going. Oh my God, when's the script ready? We've got to get the artists on. And I have urgency in me. But my goal is like a 10-year plan to get to the freaking Academy Awards. But I have urgency. So because I know my goal is 10 years away, shit, like I want to like hopefully make that shorter timeline. I'd love to win the Academy Award within the next 5 years. So it's like, shit, come on, we've got to get going. And now here's the other thing. The hand movements, the body movements, my pitch, everything is deliberate. Everything is deliberate. I do it to create the emotion of urgency in me. You're never just gonna, let me tell you, when you wake up in the morning, you do not think I have urgency at all. So I know I have to create it myself. I know it will not happen deliberately. And I know I cannot just rely on happenstance. I have to do it myself. It's the flame, right? I was saying earlier, the match, lit it. That's me. So even if you do that, in fact, that's another thing. I actually love, I speak so I can understand. I speak so I can understand, not to be understood. That makes sense. So as I talk even, I've just noticed things within myself by doing this live. Like, right, I was saying, fan the flames. Like, you see me move. It creates the emotion, the urgency in me. So, all right, next. I'm going to ask someone else to join. Come on, let's have someone join. Who wants to join me? You're going to have your question ready. This isn't working. Why isn't this button working? So you're going to have your question ready. No, that wasn't working. I'm sorry, guys. All right. Let's try this one. How do you come back after a setback? Oh, I have a post-it. Wait. I hope I didn't. Oh, I did. I still have it. I still have it. Are you ready, guys? Are you ready? The magic to how I do this. Oh. This too shall pass. I think that's actually reverse. It's a mirror thing. Post it. This too shall pass. So whatever setback you have right now, it's temporary. It is temporary. Remember, in fact, right now, think of a setback you had a year ago, 2 years ago, and everyone watching, any problem you've ever had in your life, a fall, a failure, a setback, have you got it in your head right now? You're thinking about it? Okay. Do you still feel that way now? No. The setback was in the past. You may still hold on to like, fuck, that sucked, like all of that, yes, I get, right? There were things that I've had many setbacks and I'm still like, oh yeah, that still is shitty. But you don't have the same emotion, right? In that moment, you're like, the world will never be the same. My business has crumbled. Like, what am I going to do? The feeling you had has passed. So whatever setback, remind yourself that you can overcome it. Second thing I do, I think of all the incredible humans that I admire. Like the people that I think, if I could be them, like if I could literally be them, I would be so freaking proud of myself because of what they've done and what they've achieved and how they've done it. So all right, I think I'm still here. Yes. All right. Let's not get frazzled, Lisa. Let's not get sidetracked. Let's focus. All right. So I think of the greats and I go, take Oprah Winfrey. Do you think Oprah never had a setback? Like, I'm actually asking, do you think the great people never had setbacks? Of course they did. And what that does for me is there's like, okay, that eases my like stress. It's like, it's part of the process. We've told ourselves in society that setbacks are failures. But what if we reframed it, right? It's like that Einstein, where someone was like, you know, he had like 1,000 tries or 10,000 failures before he got, no, not Einstein, sorry, Edison. Edison had 10,000 tries for the light bulb. And someone said to him like, oh my God, didn't you beat yourself up over all those failures? And he said, no, they were 10,000 lessons. I'm sure I'm getting the number wrong, but you get the point. It's all how you frame it. Is it a setback or was it a lesson? Every time now, and I actually do this, every time something messes up or I make a mistake or there's a problem or I just F up, I just go, that was a great lesson. Like, I actually say those words out loud because mindset is everything. And if you tell yourself that was a setback, what are you actually saying? Just setting yourself back emotionally, mentally. You're setting yourself back. But now by saying that was a lesson, what if I just told myself, you're more powerful for it. You've just learned something. Knowledge is power, people. Knowledge is power. All right, I probably have a million more alarms that are about to go off. I probably should wrap this up right now. All right, I think I'm back. So this is my life. You've just taken a real glimpse into how many alarms I have going off in my life and my world, but I just ignored them, right? Because, and I think that this might be a good example. One thing that I have struggled with, like, how do you manage, right? Things are coming at you all the time. I get texts, emails. If you've got kids, you have to deal with the kids and business and husband and family and problems and finance and all of that. I just go, what's my priority right now in this moment? It's with you guys. So all these alarms, for all I know, something is super freaking important and urgent. I don't know. Why? Because I've said I'm going to be present for you guys. I'm going to ignore all my alarms. I'm going to turn up for you guys. And I'm going to deal with whatever happens afterwards. So anyway, all right, guys, that was all. This was a total impromptu live. Thank you all for being a part of it. Thank you for joining. I will be posting this live now on my feed. And then we will be cutting clips from it. But the one thing I do request is just keep asking, guys, ask from me what are the things you want to know. I really, really, really do want to know what are the things that I can bring value, if it's health, business, self-esteem, not having children, marriage, all of that good stuff. So let me know what are the most things that you find most empowering so that I can show up and keep providing value. All right. If you're not following me on YouTube, I was going to say Instagram, but you're on Instagram. Guys, honestly, the big thing that I always kind of just like my heart and soul, I pour is the videos, is the interviews, is the content on YouTube. So if you're not on YouTube, Women of Impact, and I do bring value to you guys, would absolutely freaking love it if you go over to YouTube right now, watch that. We're about to be dropping some new content. Spoiler alert, new content coming on Women of Impact, about to drop it. So go over there. It's YouTube. Hopefully we're releasing it next week. I'm not sure on the date, but go over, guys. Until next time, be the hero of your own life. Peace out, everyone.